Good afternoon. Just hang out here. Couple minutes before we get started. Leave the window open for you to get set up. Grab a comfy spot on your mat. Oh, hey, hello. I love it. Thanks for joining, guys. Good afternoon. So you can just relax on your mat for a couple minutes, breathe, shake off any of the tension of the morning. Sue, Ange, love to see you guys. It's always more fun knowing I'm not practicing alone. Awesome. Just take one more minute, get out all the ants in your pants, wiggle it around. All right. I always wait for the church bells to go off in the distance so I know that it's yoga time. All right. Almost that time. I'm going to head to my mat. I'll join you guys. As always, we're just going to start seated, nice and comfy. Close your eyes and just get a few conscious and uninterrupted breaths in here while we wait to get started with our movement. Every time you inhale, feel as if you're lengthening your spine, and every exhale, feel like there's tension and the stress is falling off your shoulders. A couple more like that. Use this minute as you settle in to do a little scan from top to bottom. See if there's any areas that are tight or bugging you a little bit. Maybe you'll pay a little more attention to them. Just spend a little time getting to know your body and how it's feeling. So there goes our 12 o'clock bell. So let's take the deepest inhale and exhale we've taken all day. So in through your nose, fill up your lungs and your belly, and then out through your mouth, let it go. Let's do one more like that. Really deepest breath in through your nose, and then out through your mouth, let it go. Feel your shoulders drop away. Good. We'll start with some movement with our neck, rolling it side to side. Once you find yourself over to the left side, pause here, let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. Lift your chin up a little bit. Feel your opposite shoulder pulling down and back. And then super slowly tuck your chin to your chest and roll it on over to the other side. Pause here, right ear towards right shoulder. Lift your chin a little bit. Find some length, opposite shoulder pulling down and back, and hold. And drop your chin to your chest, sitting up nice and tall. Keep your chin tucked and then slowly draw a line up towards the ceiling with your nose. You're going to stretch all your front body here. Lift your chin up long in the back of your neck. And hold here. And then bring your head back to the center. Let's get some moving with our torso. We're going to do some circles. You're rounding your back as you go towards the back, bringing your chest through your shoulders as you come towards the front. okay if your hips are coming off the ground, just be loosey-goosey here. We want to loosen up our back and our hips. One more before you change direction. And make your circles a little smaller until you're come right up to seated. And we're gonna untuck our legs and roll right onto our back. Pick up your right knee, hug it into your chest, and extend your left leg out long to the floor. With that knee we're holding, we're going to start drawing circles on the ceiling from our hip. Drawing your circles one way, and then the opposite way. One more circle and then hug it in tight to your chest. And then we're going to straighten the leg, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Hold on to whatever part of your leg that you can reach. And roll your ankle. Roll it both ways. And point and flex your toes. And then bending at the knee, hug it back into your chest. And we're going to swap legs. So extend the right leg, hug the left knee into your chest. And same thing on this side. We're going to open up the hip by drawing some circles. One way, and then draw your circles the other way. And then hug it back into the center. And straighten that leg, holding on to wherever you can. And roll the ankle out. Try to have your shoulders and head relaxed on the floor. Roll your ankle one way and then the other. And then pointing and flexing the toes. And let that left knee bend, hug it into your chest. And now we're going to pick up both knees, hugging them in. And then both legs are going to straighten up, toes towards the ceiling. Press your lower back into the floor, almost like you're lifting your tailbone up off the ground. Then we're going to warm our core up. We're going to take our hands and try to reach towards our toes. And you're going to crunch up and down, trying to reach. We're going to do that 15 times. So that's your first 5, and we're going to add 10 more. Keep crunching. 5 left, we're just warming up. Last one, and then you can relax your feet to the ground, hands underneath your knees, and you're going to rock forward and back, massaging your low back until you come all the way up to seated. All right, so you're sitting here, your legs are lengthened out here, sit up nice and tall, hands by your hips, and you're just going to crawl your fingers forward, tuck your belly button into your spine, round your upper back, and we're going to try to lift our legs off the ground. Maybe try one at a time, lifting your heel off the ground without leaning back. So try to lean forward and use your core and your hip flexors to lift up. Couple more times each side. And then let them go and wiggle it out. Bending at the knees, your hands are braced behind you. You're just going to let your knees fall side to side. to center, straighten those legs out once more. So we're gonna keep working on that, lifting the legs up. Try a couple each side, maybe both at the same time. Or if you wanna practice a little modification for a pistol squat, take a look at your screen. And you're gonna roll onto your back, keep one leg bent, and as you roll forward, see if you can kind of step onto that foot and keep the other leg out long. Your hands can be here for support, but try to really lift away from the ground. And then you switch, you roll back, bend the opposite leg, and see if you can kind of come up. So remember, you're either working on that, both legs straight, just lifting up, or having a little fun rocking and rolling, seeing if you can come up onto one foot at a time. Try that a couple more times. Really squeeze your core as you come up. Maybe try to hold yourself up a little bit. One more time, wherever you're at. And then you can just come to seated. You can cross your ankles, and we're gonna roll on over to our hands and knees. Good job if anyone was brave and rocking and rolling up to their pistol. So now we're on our hands and knees. Walk your hands forward a little bit, and we're gonna come to our first down dog. Hips go up, press away from both hands. Start with a bend in your knees so you get your back nice and long. And then you can drop one heel at a time, back and forth, walking the dog. And then a little stillness in your down dog. Keep that tailbone up, belly button pressing in towards your spine. Core is still engaged here. And then come forward into your plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Let's start with our knees down. Keep everything nice and tight and lower your chin and chest to the floor. Roll your shoulders back, just a baby cobra here, opening your chest. Only go as far as you can, that you can still lift your hands off the ground. That's the little baby cobra, just a little lift. Test it out, lift your hands off the ground, keep your chest lifted. And then place everything down and press right back up to your down dog. Let's do that again, rounding forward into your plank. You can lower your knees down if you'd like, or bring your whole body to the floor. And we'll get that baby cobra there again. Squeeze your butt and your legs, roll your shoulders back so you can lift your arms off the floor. Let's strengthen our back a little bit. So keeping your chest lifted, reach your arms forward, extend it out in front, and then pull your elbows back so you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Reach your arms forward, and then pull the elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. One more time like that. Reach out long. Remember, keep your glutes and your legs engaged here, and then squeeze your elbows back, and then relax everything down to the floor. Press up to your down dog. You can find movement in your down dog or stillness, whatever works for you. All right, and back towards your plank. Here we go, we're switching it up a little bit. So you can do what we just did the round before, or if you want to get a little bit of shoulder work, you're going to lower your body halfway and see if you can hold it for 5 seconds. So shift your weight forward a little bit, elbows stay close, lower halfway, arms are bent at 90 degrees. We'll hold for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and then lower. Good job. If you're in the baby cobra, just lower yourself down, bend at the knees, touch your toes together, and we're going to press right back to child's pose. And relax. Couple big inhales and exhales in your child's pose here. Feel your back body expanding as you inflate your lungs. And then looking between your hands, we're coming up to our down dog. Now, in your down dog, widen your feet a little bit. Big bend in the knees, press your belly to your thighs and walk your hands all the way back so you're in a squat at the back of your mat. Drop your hips and lift your chest. Maybe try lifting your arms up by your ears. Keep your core tight. Press the knees out so they're pointing the same ways as your toes. And then let your arms go, hips come up, forward fold. Add a little twist here. Super bend the right knee, right fingertips to the floor, and left arm is gonna sweep up towards the ceiling. Long back. Try to twist from your thoracic spine there, your upper part of your back. And fold. Switch to the other side. Right hand comes up, reaches towards the ceiling. Back is long. And fold. Let's tuck our chin to our chest. Let your hands go and roll all the way up to standing. Your head comes up last and then your arms sweep up overhead. Step your feet underneath your hips. And we're going to bring our hands down behind our back, interlace them together, lift your chest and pull your arms down. And then we're going to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Hands are still clasped together, reaching towards the ceiling. Gently release your hands to your low back, let them go. Generous bend in your knees, tuck your tailbone and your chin, and roll all the way up. Press away from the floor with your feet like it's your legs pushing you up. Head comes up last, and then sweep your arms down and out to come up. Grabbing a hold of your right wrist, you're going to press your hips out and make yourself into a nice crescent shape there. And then reach back up through center. Switch sides. Grab the opposite wrist and bend. And use your core to come back through the center and let your hands go down by your sides and then together at your heart in prayer. Okay, we're going to find the balance on our left leg and pick our right leg up. So find your balance here. And we're going to come forward into a warrior 3. So start to hinge at your hips and kick that lifted leg out behind you. Toes are pointing down. Use the wall if you need to. Point your toes down towards the ground and keep your core nice and tight. Don't forget to breathe. Now we're going to make sure that standing leg's nice and strong. Engage that leg and bring yourself right to standing. Keep that leg lifted until it's bent at 90 degrees back in front of you. And we're going to step forward a little bit. Now find the balance on your right foot. Pick up your left leg. And let's get warrior 3 on this side. Start to hinge forward at your hips. Keep pointing those back toes down towards the ground. If you need some more help with balance, your hands can be out to the sides. Keep your core tight. And then squeeze that standing leg. Woo! Try to come up to standing. See if you can keep that leg lifted the whole way till it's out in front of you. And then we're going to keep walking to the front. So that left foot steps forward a little bit. Find your balance one more time on each side. Pick up the right leg. And hinge at the hips. Find your warrior 3 balance on this side. Make sure your core is tight. Sometimes we try to have a super big arch in our back to make it feel like we're lifting that back leg up more. But you want to have the movement from your hips. So you keep your core tight and then do hip extension to lift it up, instead of just arching your back to get it up there. If that makes any sense. All right, let's see if we can come to that standing balance without putting the foot down. Nice. Last step forward. Pick up the left leg and hinge at the hips. Find your balance. Warrior 3. Just a little longer like this. Don't forget to breathe. And then strong standing legs. See if you can come all the way up to that standing balance. Legs bent in front of you. And then just step it down. And release your hands. Have a little wiggle. Nice. All right, now we're at the front of our mat. Let's sweep our hands down and out to come up. And forward fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Step your right leg back. All right, we're in a low lunge. If anyone saw my Instagram earlier, we're doing a couple little hip openers now. So from your lunge, first let's find a twist. Plant that inside hand or have a block under your hand there. And add a twist. Left hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Keep hugging your legs in towards the midline. Find the twist from your upper back. Shoulders are stacked. And then looking back at your mat, bring your hands down. You're going to bring both hands on the inside of that left foot. Heel toe the foot so your stance is a bit wider. And bring the back knee down. We're going to bring our left hand on top of our left thigh. Flex the foot and just open up. Rotate from the hip so that the knee comes out to the side. But the movement's coming from your hip. So keep your foot flexed so your ankle and your knee are in alignment and you're just opening up from the hip. Shoulders away from the ears, nice long back. Good. You can use your hand to help bring yourself back to the center. So your foot's planted, knees back above the ankle. And you can stay here, or if it's available to you, bend that back leg. And with your left hand, see if you can reach it. It can be quite an intense stretch, so it's okay if you don't get it a hold of it. You can just keep trying to reach that back heel towards your glute. But if anyone's hanging on to it there, we'll just hold this for a little bit. Now, once we let go of it, try not to slingshot it. Gently let it come down to the floor. Both hands are back on the inside of that foot. Lift the back knee, and we're going to walk our hands to the center so we're in a forward fold. Legs are nice and wide. And let your head and your chest float towards the floor. So with your fingertips on the floor, just press away from the floor so your back's nice and long. Bring your heels in a little bit so your toes are out, and we're going to let ourselves side lunge, side to side. So you're bending one knee at a time, keeping your heart lifted, dropping your hips down and back. If you want a little extra, hands come to your heart and lunge side to side. I've seen people get their bum right down to the floor. Maybe next time we're in quarantine, I'll work towards that. Try a couple more each sides. And once once you're all evened up, just bring both legs straight and let your fingertips come back to the floor. And we're gonna walk our hands towards the front, so we're back in the lunge, facing the front. Planting your hands, step back into your plank. We'll run through those vinyasas again, dropping the knees and chin and chest come to the floor. Roll your shoulders back, baby cobra. Test out your back strength, see if you can lift your hands off the ground. And then bring them back down. Press up to your down dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. Take whatever modifications you'd like. Coming to your plank. Knees up or down. Lower to the floor. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe you're lifting your heart up a little bit deeper this time. And then roll down, back to down dog. All right, for anybody out there wanting a little more shoulder workout, find your way to plank. Shift your shoulders forward a little bit. We're going to see if we can hold in chaturanga. So you're dropping down, bending your arms 90 degrees, keep pressing away from the floor. Take your gaze forward. You got it. We're coming to the floor at some point. See how long you can stay up. We'll go for 3, 2, 1, and then lower to the ground. Good job. Bend at the knees, toes together, knees up. Let's chill in child's pose for a second. Press right back and relax those shoulders. Head and chest to the floor. Looking between your hands, let's come right back up to that down dog. And step, walk, or hop to the front of your mat. So you're in a forward fold at the front. Halfway lift. And fold. Big generous bend in your knees. Let's roll all the way up to standing. Just so we can get the blood where it needs to go. Reaching your arms up as you come up. And a nice juicy side bend once more each side. You're reaching, pressing your hips out. And just get it done on either side. And now let's open the hips up on the other side. Let's fold forward. Halfway lift. And we're stepping our left foot back this time in a low lunge. And once you feel good here, add your twist. We're going to take our right hand up towards the ceiling. If that feels a bit tight for you, you can beat up on your fingertips on that left hand. Long back, twist from your upper torso there. And then come on down. Both hands on the inside of that foot. Heel toe the foot out a little bit. Make some space. Heart is forward. You might feel like you're starting to turtle. Drop that back knee. Right hand comes up to that upper thigh. Flex the foot and you're going to open from the hip. Anytime there's hip openers, never press on the knee. We want to open it up from the hip. The knee's only supposed to move one way, not out to the side. So keep that in line with your ankle. Another thing I see people do is they've got super flexible ankles, so the opening is coming from the ankles. So just try to keep your foot flexed so that you're not getting the movement from there. You want it from your hip. And then use your hand to help stack the knee back above the ankle. And again, either just try to deepen here or bend the back knee and see if you can grab a hold of it with your right hand. If you have straps nearby, if you can almost reach it, you can always hook your foot in the strap. But never push it towards pain at all. Just keep working up to it slowly. Now remember, don't slingshot it, gently release that foot. Both hands are on the inside, lift the back knee, and we're gonna pivot. So we're in a wide-legged forward fold towards the back. You can grab opposite elbows and let your head hang towards the floor. If you need to deepen this forward fold, grab opposite elbows and help use that as leverage to bring the crown of your head towards the floor. Engage the fronts of your legs so it allows the backs to lengthen. And then release your fingertips to the floor. Press away from the floor so your back lengthens. Bring those heels in a little bit, toes facing out, and we'll add a few more side lunges, side to side. Remember, hands can come up to your heart. You can either keep that elongated leg, the foot planted on the floor, or if it feels better, you can pop the toes up so they're facing towards the ceiling. One more time each side. And then we'll all meet back in our wide-legged forward fold, legs straight. Looking towards the front of your mat, start to walk your hands so you're in a lunge facing the front again. And step back to your down dog. Now, just for good measure, since we're in the last couple minutes of our practice, let's squeak out another little shoulder burner. Coming forward into your plank. Let's see if you can hold that chaturanga just a little bit longer. Remember, you can be on your knees here if you'd like to. So shift your weight forward. Keep your elbows close and then bend your arms 90 degrees. It's right near the end of practice, so maybe just try to hold it until you totally fall right onto your belly. Keep your core tight, squeeze your glutes and your legs. Let's make it shake. Woo! Let's try 3 more seconds. 2, 1. And then lower. Let's take a final nice stretch in child's pose. Touch your toes together, knees bent. One last little push and hang out here. Let your breathing slow. We're going to hold here for 1 minute. Relax your head. If your shoulders need to chill out more, you can slide them by your sides, hand by your heels. And let's just breathe here. Close your eyes. We're going to slowly let our hands come to support us on the floor so we can bring ourselves back just to a kneeling position, so we're sitting on our heels here. And let's do a couple little neck rolls. One more time, then bring your head back to the center. We're going to sweep our hands out to the sides and up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze with it. And right hand comes down to the floor. Add a little bit of a side bend, reaching over. And back up through center, both hands lift. And side bend to the other side. Left hand drops, reach up and over. Back to the center, both hands reaching up towards the ceiling. Palms together, let them slowly slide down to your heart. And as always, just wanting to keep it nice and short and sweet, we can end the practice here and you can continue on, maybe add in a couple little other extra stretches or just go on about your day. But thank you guys for sharing this time with me. Namaste. Have a good day.